Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Right now I'm taking a walk in the morning before going home, getting some food in, getting some chores done, and training. So I'll see you guys once I'm done with this walk. I'm just trying to get some more steps in so I can eat some more calories instead of just eating like super low amounts of calories during this cut. So I mean, it's helping. I can definitely eat more and still lose the same amount of weight, so that's great. Scrape that shit clean, but geez, that is so much yogurt. Oh, hell nah. This is like 350 grams of plain Greek yogurt, about 100 grams of blueberries, and 100 grams of grapes. Usually I add protein powder to this, but today I'm just gonna raw dog it. Yeah, I'm kind of mostly just eating for calories and protein and not that much for taste at this point, as you can tell, because even the berries, although the berries help a lot, it's still not enough to cover the fact that it's just plain yogurt. But it is what it is. Honestly, it's not too bad because the grapes, they carry like super hard. So at least thank God for the grapes. All right, I am in the garage gym right now, but unfortunately I'm not here to train. I have some other things to do. I have to put this big white cover thing for my car cover here since winter's coming up. Unfortunate reality of living somewhere where it snows, but I gotta move my car first, so let's do that. All right, I'm doing this alone, but as you can see, this is light work for me. I already got it up here. Now it's easy. I just gotta get it up, attach all the cords and shit, and we're good to go. All right, we're done. I'm tired. I just sat and like scrolled TikTok on my phone for like an hour after adding the cover for my tempo thing. Now I'm eating a protein bar right now. I ate one in the morning before going on my walk, and usually I only eat one a day, but these days I've been eating two just because it helps me kind of manage my hunger well and get some protein in at the same time without really overeating. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna eat this, and I'm gonna eat one like proper meal at the end of the day, and that'll probably be it. I have like 90 grams of protein left. This is 20, so I'll have like 70 grams left after this. I have to work out today as well, so we'll get to that soon. All right, I was doing some work on my computer. I was gonna go work out before eating my last meal of the day. Pretty big meal. I'm gonna get the remaining like 70 grams of protein that I needed in one meal. Maybe I should split it up. Anyway, that meal that I was gonna eat later after my workout, I'm eating it right now. I might regret it because I might feel hungry after the workout. But I just didn't have the energy. Like I train in my basement, like in my garage. I just don't have the energy to go down there right now. So I'm like, I need the food. So I'll probably eat this and do some more work, maybe edit some videos and stuff before going down and working out, and hopefully I can just go to bed right after working out. But this is the meal here. No rice at all because I can't really afford the calories today for the rice. I got 3 hard-boiled eggs, 3 chicken drumsticks, some like cooked papaya, and like a little bit of like leftover beef curry or whatever. And this should be about 70 grams of protein. Yeah, this is no like aesthetic Instagram meal or anything. It's just straight protein. Good food. Like this tastes good. I like the food. But like yeah, it's not like a aesthetic influencer meal or nothing. This is just straight up food and I love it. All right, workout time. I got a little podcast playing in the background as I usually do. I'm starting with weighted pull-ups, so let's get it.
Dramatic increase in terms of over 500% increase since food dyes were because no one's doing it.
How much do you lay at the feet of the food company?
They did that. These food manufacturers in America didn't want that warning label. They said, oh no. And that policy, that unethical business practice has to stop with American companies. And that's why we have targeted Kellogg's first with our campaign. And me and other amazing health leaders, doctors, learned on how to hook Americans to cigarettes and the world to cigarettes, and basically use that same science and technology in our I think it tastes amazing. But I stay the same way. My health is awesome because I'm eating real food with real nutrition and my body isn't being subjected to these food industry tricks that have happened at a level that I can't even.
Alright, so that was weighted pull-ups. I did 1 rep with 70 pounds and then did a 3x6 with 45 pounds on the weight belt. Now I have front pulls, which is what I do to kind of slowly progress to my front lever. Before I was trying to really train the front lever hard and do a lot of work for it and stuff, but now I'm kind of like chill on the front lever training, and I'm kind of training it for the long term, not really focused on getting it ASAP, and just to kind of make sure that I'm not spreading myself too thin in my training and in my skill training. So right now, front lever, like I just mentioned, the weighted pull-ups, and bench press. Those are like the 3 things that I'm kind of training for just strength and skill wise. Aside from that, I'm kind of just training for aesthetics. That's about it. Yeah, and since the front lever and the weighted pull-ups are both back dominant, I'm not doing like a bunch of front lever work and a bunch of pull-up work. I just have 2 days similar to what I'm doing today. This day, another day, where I just do weighted pull-ups and front levers. Weighted pull-ups and front pulls. So yeah, nothing crazy. So I'm gonna do the front pulls now. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's like a pullover, but you do it with your body weight on the pull-up bar. After that, I just have some chest-supported rows with the cable machine here, and preacher curls and lateral raises. That's about it. It is also, I think, day 96 of my cut, so for past 3 months, and this is great. You know, I'm having, I was gonna say I'm having fun. I'm not really having fun completely, but I do have fun seeing my physique get better day by day. The calorie restriction isn't the best. Even today, I ate more than I should have, but it is what it is. You know, can't be too strict to the point where I'm like starving myself and stuff. I did get 10,000 steps in today, so I was like, you know, screw it. I'll eat a little bit more. You know, I'm just kind of getting there slowly. I don't want to force myself to lose weight too fast, although not too slow. You know, I'm just trying to kind of minimize the calories more on the days that I don't train. So on my rest days, when I don't need that much food, I'll just try and force myself to eat not too much. But today I was training, I was like, nah, there's no way I'm gonna manage training on low calories. It's really tough. So I'm kind of just figuring it all out, especially as I'm getting to the end of the cut. Like this whole time, the last 3 months, they weren't not a big deal at all. I just lowered my calories. I was fine. I wasn't super hungry. I wasn't craving too much. But now that I'm getting pretty lean and I've lost over 20 pounds now, it's getting tough, and I actually have to manage my hunger a bit more. Anyway, enough yapping. Time to get back to work.
well, it evenly disperses the air bubbles in rubber. Well, it does the same thing in bread, and so they wanted the bread to look and feel the same in every single Subway. You know, that's what fast food is, right? You want it to be the same and uniform, and so this was a chemical they were not using in other countries. If you got caught using it in Singapore, you got fined $450,000. And I petitioned Subway to remove this chemical because I didn't think eating that chemical was eating fresh. And Michelle Obama at the time had partnered with Subway in her Let's Move campaign. And I was like, wait a minute, does she not know the truth about Subway, that there's close to 50 ingredients in the piece of bread at Subway? Like, she needs to know. And so I started this petition, and it went so viral that the company, by the end of the week, fast food, because I don't want to think about what to eat and how to prepare it and do whatever. And you just need to come up with 5 or 6 meals that you can repeat at home that your family loves. And this is one of the reasons why I've written 2 cookbooks, Food Babe Kitchen and Food Babe Family, with things that the whole family can sit down and eat. You're not making different things for each person and being a short order cook. You're eating one meal as a family. Everybody likes it. It's nutritious. It's real food, and it's fast. I don't like spending, all day in the kitchen, and I want things to be 30 minutes or less. And so a lot of my recipes are that way. So I would highly recommend that. Number one, you start cooking at home. You pick the ingredients yourself. You know what you're eating. That's going to be the best solution to the situation that we're in terms of our food system. And that's the way I've decided to be revolutionary in my own life, and to live this way is to be, it's very unconventional to live a real food lifestyle, because every time you go out of your house.
One thing I didn't mention is that right now it's like 2 a.m. and earlier what you guys saw of me eating and stuff, after all that, I just like did not have the energy just come down here and train. Well, first of all, I had some homework to submit, so I did that. But after that, like, I just was so tired. Like, the cut has me hungry as shit. And basically, these days, I only have like a few hours where I could really like get a lot of things done and do like a lot of high energy requirement stuff. So today, after I put that the big cover on my like Tempo, which is like the car thing, to protect my car from the snow. After I did that, I was gone. Like, I was gone. I had to just sit down on my desk and do nothing for hours, which is what I did. And I mean, that's why we're here so late. Tomorrow is Saturday. I am working. I work on the weekends and like 1 or 2 days on the weekdays. So tomorrow, Saturday, I work not that many hours, thankfully. And I work from home, so that's fine. Which is also why I've been kind of more proactive about my steps, because I don't really get that many steps anymore. Because I train here in my house, I work in my house. Since I do everything at home, I have like no real reason to get any steps in and walk, so I kind of just have to force myself. Literally today, I was walking around the house for like an hour. I was just on my phone for an hour, just doing random things and just walking, and I got like 5,000 plus steps just walking in my house, which at least I can do that. And I don't always have to go outside. I mean, I got some steps in the morning as well, so as you guys saw in the beginning of the video. But yeah, I mean, that's all. I'm going to do these curls, do my lateral raises, and I'll show you guys the physique. I am actually weighing in right now at 144 pounds. So I have passed the 145 mark. 145 was what I thought was going to be my ultimate goal for the cut. Like, in the beginning, it was 150 for the cut, and then like a couple weeks in, I was like, okay, 150 is not enough. I have to go down to 145, and I really told myself that 145 was gonna be it. But I'm still really not that lean yet, so I will go down to like 130. Like, there's no way at 135 I'm not shredded. I hope that at 140 I'll be happy with my physique, and we'll be good to go. But worst case would be 135. I really doubt we'll have to go that low, but yeah, I mean, you never know.
Feeling like I'm not prepared, and all of a sudden I've lost the plot of, why do I even want to talk to this person tomorrow? Like, this is something that's been arranged for months, and now I've lost why I'm doing it because I feel lost in my preparation. It's usually a sign that I'm going too fast. If the joy is gone, then I'm probably on that path to burnout. I would just say if it's sort of creeping into other areas of your life, if you guys are married. I don't know if you guys have kids?
Not yet.
Yeah. So I think if you're distracted around at least for me, if I'm distracted around my kids, if I'm not able to if I set aside time to do something with my kids, if I'm sort of being pulled into something else, that's just generally a bad sign for me, or at least a warning sign that's, it makes me say, hey, what's going on and why is this happening?
There's a definition of the term that we heard from Casey Neistat. It's like obviously like a story creator. He said burnout is creative output without direction. And
I don't know if it was the Supreme Court that said this, but I'm sure you've heard it. It's apocryphal about, it's hard to define pornography, but you know it when you see it. Yeah. I think the same is true for burnout. So apologies to the sociologists or behavioral psychologists who probably actually have a technical definition for it. But it is a topic in medicine, especially in primary care, but frankly all over medicine. Physician burnout is, it's just a mammoth problem. Many physicians have to operate in a paradigm where they have to see a certain number of patients a day. Their visits and interactions with the patients are very transactional, and you've got, somewhere between 10 and 15 minutes per patient, and you're going to run through 10 hours of this every single day. And so what you don't have time for in that situation is you don't have time to talk to the person. You don't have time to strike up a rapport. So that clearly leads to this phenomenon of burnout. You're kind of losing the reason you did this thing, Because there's nobody who said I want to go into medicine because I want to push as many charts as is humanly possible in a day and come up without getting food or moving or doing something else. It's not like natural selection made it for your desire to carry kettlebells around the campfire. But some people have an easier time doing it than others. That's fine.
That's a question that I wanted to ask you specifically because I often feel very discouraged at my lack of exercise or lack of action as it compares to the level of inspiration that I get in my life. So whether that's inspiration through what I see on social media to eat this way, act this way, or even sitting with you at Spotter Summit, I left being like, my whole life just changed. I'm gonna hang, I'm gonna cold plunge, I'm gonna sauna, I'm gonna eat this way, I'm gonna get an 8 sleep. Everything is gonna change. And I was telling you, I'm 3/4 of the way through your book. I listen to you a lot on shows, and I'm like, I have the inspiration, I have the motivation, but I have a hard time staying consistent and taking action. What advice do you have to start taking those steps to be more active?
Yeah, no, I think that's a great question, Colin. I think not overdoing it and starting with something small that you're going to get a win and some success with, right? So it might be that in February when we first met, you came away with too much ambition, right? You were like, oh my God, I got to change the way I sleep, the way I eat, the way I exercise, the way I manage this, that. Well, that's pretty overwhelming, right? Especially for someone who's really busy, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like you're working 9 to 5. So what I would do is I would sort of, sit down with you and sort of go through where you are right now on all the metrics. So if we were to say, look, in an ideal world, this would be kind of your exercise program. This would be how long you would sleep. This would be how much time you devote to meal planning and eating. This would be your mental health practice, all of these other things. First question I want to know is, where's the biggest opportunity? Where are you furthest from what we might consider ideal? And then I would marry that to what one thing are you willing to try doing first? So start with a bit of desire.
And that's the thing I have been thinking about quite a bit of, obviously you study longevity, and I thought about that coming into this conversation around I want to do this career for a long time, but I'm going to have to be very aware of the different factors that we are collaborating with if I want to do this for the next couple decades. So I wanted to get into that subject matter of longevity, how you define that, and then dive into some of the factors of it.
And I assume you mean not physical longevity, but career longevity?
I guess I tie those two together. I think and you tell me if you do or don't, but we had a conversation with an executive one time who called himself a work athlete. And that was the first time I took a step back and I was like, oh, my physical and mental health, similar to an athlete, are directly correlated to my success in my career as a creator. And so I guess when I heard you talk about longevity, I thought about that being directly correlated to my career longevity.
I think about it as, if I get up before one of these interviews, I get up early, I work out, I eat right, I will have a better interview. I will also be happier when I get home with my partner. They're so tied together. I'll work better with Samir because I feel better about myself.
Yeah, so I guess for me personally, I take that part for granted because it's such a high priority regardless of what I'm doing. In other words, regardless of where I am in my career, because I've had a lot of careers, right? So what has to be true about what I'm doing for me to want to be doing this in 10 years? That's the question I think.
It's a good prompt.
It's a great question.
It's a really good prompt.
Yeah, we even on a more micro level, when we're talking with aspiring creators, we'll often tell them whatever the first version is of your channel or your endeavor, make sure you really care about that community or the value that you're providing and the way that you're doing it, your process. Of course, your process can improve, but if what you're doing works, if you find a way that it works and it succeeds, whatever that process is, whatever that community that you're providing value to, if you want longevity, you're going to be doing some version of that looks very similar in 10 years, right?
Yeah.
It's a very similar type of thing.
Can you define, I really like, this is the first thing I wrote down from talking to you is the difference between lifespan and health span. And I really liked that distinction. Can you define those two terms?
Yeah, lifespan is the easier of the two to understand. It's the how long you live. So it's binary, right? It's you're alive or you're dead. So that's kind of call it death certificate